This is Jonathan Agnew here for Pro Boxing Fans. Delighted to be joined by the Savage, Alen Babic, over Zoom, unbeaten heavyweight, of course. Alen, good to see you. How you doing?
Thank you very much for the invite. I'm good, just enjoying the fame, giving 10 interviews a day. It's been awesome. I like all the parts of the boxing.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Let's talk about your fight in Fight Camp. You beat Shawndell Winters in 2 rounds. Happy with your performance? Quite a statement. Such a quick win.
Yeah, I'm happy that I got my message out. I got that I'm different, that I'm old school, and the fans love it. Obviously, I hope UK loves it because Croatia is crazy, and I got so many messages from UK and so many interviews. So I'm happy that I showed myself in the real savage mode. And that is the way I'm always gonna fight, and that's what I want. I don't want to just be part of this game. I want to change the game. I want to do something different. Something gold. I want to bring the 60s back. In the ring.
What heavyweights inspire you? I see you've got the Joe Fraser top on. Talk to me about what heavyweights you like from the past.
Yeah, Joe Fraser is my number one item. From his humble beginnings to his humility, he was such a humble guy and such a beast in the ring, and that's who I am really. Alan is just a nice guy. I never curse. I never do stuff like that. I'm really look. I'm looking kind of tough, but I'm really soft. And then I have this savage inside of me that just wants to fucking kill everybody. And I like it. I like the contrast between two people.
When does that switch happen? Is it during fight week? Is it just in the gym, or just when you get in the ring? When do you switch to the savage?
I switch every day. I switch daily, but on the moments. When I go into the sparring, I can do it. I just start breathing a little bit heavier, just warming up my body, and I feel him coming. And then I can just switch back. I'm Alan 90% of the time. But when I switch to Savage, I just don't fucking care, because I said if I lose, Savage lost. Alan is a humble guy, and Alan don't need all this attention, don't need all this media. So it's a great way to relieve your stress. People don't know that I studied a lot of psychology stuff and Sigmund Freud.
Okay.
So I managed somehow to separate myself in two persons. Alan is always shielded by Savage.
Talk to me a bit about the psychology you studied. Does that help you during fight week when you're speaking to your opponents or anything like that?
Yeah, of course. Listen. I'm a very small heavyweight, they say, but I'm like bigger than Jack Dempsey and their guys. So with my mental strength, I can fulfill all of that stuff. I'm not the smallest no more. I'm the biggest in the ring because my mental strength is what it counts. And you can't see that. So I think that's why fans love me. They felt it. I have something that the other guys don't. I can't bench more. I can't run fast as them. I can't do any of that. But I'm strong in the ring. I'm just a natural ball killer when I go inside the ring, and that is the psychology. That's why I think everybody should know about this because boxing is really in here in heart. I'm something different. Not just training. I can do this. I don't care what you can do. I'm gonna kill all of them.
So your message to people that say, further down the line, will you change your style a bit? You're not changing, or we see what happens?
Listen, I'm a done fighter. I fight in 10 years. I did it all in the amateurs. I was the European Championship. I was one fight away from Olympic Games in Rio. So I'm an experienced amateur, and I'm done. I'm 29 years old. So this is it. Now I can go only more savage every time, but it's only mental. I'm gonna be mentally tougher every fight because when I knock people out, of course, it says something says to me, you're doing right. You're doing okay. Fans love me, and that is my main concern. To entertain the fans. I'm just a modern day gladiator. That's what we all are. We all are. We just imagine ourselves like some gods. We're not gods. We're just plain people, mercenaries, fighters, warriors. I want to bring that back.
And Eddie Hearn seems to be a fan of yours.
Yeah, I don't know if he fears me, but yeah, he is my fan, and he even texted me yesterday on Instagram. So Eddie Hearn slid into my DM. It's fucked up, bro. And it's really unreal stuff happening to me, and I know I have the capability to back that up, because I always back up everything I say. And when I come to the guy who will beat me in my savage mode, I will say that's it. I hope I'm gonna bring joy to the fans until that day comes, but I'm ready for everything. I'm ready to lose because I lost in my life so many times. I was broken 1,000 times, so you can't break me no more. I was there. You can knock me out, but I'm gonna be knocked out in the Eddie Hearn's garden. So I don't have that pressure that everybody has. Oh, I gotta be the toughest. I gotta be this. I don't gotta be anything. I'm a humble guy. I am okay. I'm okay the way I am. But Savage wants to do all of that stuff. So
Um, After the fight, I know you've spoken a lot about future opponents, but you did call out Filip Hrgovic, your Croatian rival. His promoter, Nissi Salin, says he'd like to see you fight a few more times. He's admiring what you're doing, but he thinks that you're not ready yet for Filip Hrgovic.
yeah, he's not really admiring. He said like, Babic is okay. He has 2 or 3 fights. I have 4 fights. So that is very disrespectful. And I fought Shawndell Winters, who is 10 times better than any of the guy Hrgovic fought. I go much faster with him. And now Hrgovic is fighting some bum who didn't even train boxing for 6 years. He's not even listed in the boxer. So I fight much better opponents. I should have another fight this month with your guy, with the English guy. What's his name? He was in the finals with Nick Webb on the boxer, ultimate boxer. I don't know, Mike Barnett or something. I don't know, Bennett. So
Mark Bennett,
yeah, he's a good guy. And Hrgovic is fighting this bum, so they're attacking me like I'm not ready. I'm showing you that I'm ready. I'm more ready than Hrgovic is mentally, because like I said, he's a silver spoon guy, and I was broken a million times. So it's two opposites, and I would really like that fight.
Mm. So that's looking like your next fight. Is it meant to be September 26th? I'm hearing.
Yes, this month in like 20 days, I think. But I don't know, this Corona shit and stuff, so it's really hard to get. Eddie Hearn told me yesterday that he's working on my next fight, so that's big, and I hope this is gonna be this September. Is that this month? Yeah, it's September. So in October or the month after that, I should fight Tom Little, and then in November I should fight on the Povetkin and Dillian undercard again. So I have 3 fights. I have 4 fights in 4 months, and that is what I like. That's what I would like. I would like to have 12 fights in my next year. That would be something. I want to make something different, and I'm ready to fight. I said to Eddie Hearn, I don't care about money. Money is not going to stop me. Just give me enough so I can eat chicken, and I have to pay my home where I sleep, and that's enough. I want to fight for the fans, and then let the fans decide if I deserve much more or I don't.
Yeah, so September 26th is looking like Joshua Buatsi headlining. Official announcements coming soon. So it's looking like Mark Bennett, you think, and then Tom Little in October.
Yeah, I think that is the way. I think that's the way it's gonna be. But Dillian Whyte, Hearn, they're doing their part. They're doing their stuff, and obviously fans want to see me, and I'm so delighted by it because I said I need to bring the fans close to me. I don't need Eddie Hearn. I don't need the people with ties. I need fans. If you like you're a big boxing fan. I can see it by the way I talk. If you like me, you want to see me, you're gonna pay for my fight. So I want to be on the service to you and to all of the people who want to see me. I don't care about the men in ties. I'm not like that. I'm a normal man. I'm a normal guy who just has a dream and want to live it. I want to live it with the people, not against him. I don't want to be like, oh, look at him. I can never be like him driving expensive cars. No, that's not me, bro. I lived in poverty for so long that is normal for me. I managed that like to the perfection. So I don't even need money. I need true boxing, bro. I want to live out the boxing. True boxing fans to love me.
When did that happen in your life? You talk about sort of going through poverty. Do you remember it?
Well, listen, of course, remember, I come from a very humble family, on the coastal town of Croatia. It's a real small town, it's nearly a real village. So you don't have much there to do. You can only be a bartender or waiter. You can't be nothing else. We don't have great sportsmen. We don't have great idols from rowing. So I didn't want to be, I couldn't be a waiter because I was clumsy. I couldn't be a bartender because I'll kill somebody. So I need to
Yeah.
make it on my own, and I left my home with 18 years after the school, and I just went into the state, just looking for a job. And I worked as a doorman for 10 years, and I like that because that made me who I am today. I had a lot of bouncer shit, and stuff, and girls and fights and all of them, bar fights, fist fights. So, and naturally, I became a boxer. I wanted to fight, so I became a boxer, and I did that simultaneously, side by side, doorman and boxing. So I'm a self-made man. Nobody give anything to me, and that's the best thing you can be because I don't owe to anybody. I owe it only to myself. And when I'm lose, I'm gonna say, okay, I did it all, but I'm not gonna lose for another 10 years because I said I gave 10 years to the doorman in boxing, so I expect at least 10 years back so I can enjoy boxing. So I think I'm not gonna be defeated for 10 years.
Um, since you won, there's been a few people that have called you out. Dave Allen was one. One the other night, I don't know if you saw his performance, David Adeleye fighting on the Frank Warren show, said he'd happily fight you. Is that a fight that interests you?
Of course, listen, I don't back up from any fight. I didn't back up from the fight in the streets. When people got knives, I'm not gonna back up from some Adeleye, some Dave Allen. I respect them both. They're in front of me in boxing still. They're more known and everything. I'm just I'm an enigma. People want to see me because they don't know what I got. People still think, oh, he's got nothing, he's got lucky, or people think this guy is dangerous, but nobody knows, and that is my strength because nobody knows how good I am. I have Olympic coach. He has 2 Olympians in one club and third one on the way, so I can box. I boxed with him for 5 years, and I spar Olympians all the time. I sparred Hrgovic. I sparred Ajit Kabayel, I sparred Dillian Whyte, of course, more than 100 rounds. So I can't wait for people to see how good I am. I need to prove that because I know I'm much better than what they saw. Shawndell was no match for me. Never. I said it on the press conference, and I backed it up because he was no match for me.
Just tell the fans what that first ever sparring session with Dillian Whyte was like.
No, it was fucked up, bro. I was coming up after a loss in my country. I lost the national championship finals. It was a robbery, but who the fuck cares? I was down, and then Dillian called me for sparring. I had 88 kilos, and Dillian was like 130. So it was like almost 50 kilos difference, 40 kilos difference. And I come into a sparring, they look at me, oh, look, this small guy, Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm small. And then we go, we did 5 rounds the first day. It was the most intense sparring I ever had in my life. It was the first 5 rounds with Dillian. We nearly killed each other. I hit him with some bombs. He hit me with some bombs. It's fucked up. And he looked at me and he said, oh, you're a fucking savage. He gave me the nickname.
Oh, okay.
You're a fucking savage. I'm going to manage you. I like it. I like what you see. And I didn't even know what that means right there. I was just a humble guy. Dillian was going to manage me. What the fuck does that even mean? And then when I get into it, I was in a fight in the next 1 week. I was fighting in Rome as a professional. It's crazy story. It's just movie story.
One fight that is coming up soon is Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce. A lot of people in the UK are looking forward to that fight. First question is, how do you see that fight going, Alan?
Well, I think Dubois is a better boxer than Joyce, but I think Joyce is mentally tougher, and more experienced. So I really think it's a 50-50 fight. If Dubois agrees to fight on Joe Joyce's style, he's gonna be dead. Joyce is gonna finish him. But if Dubois does his style and Joe Joyce backs down just one time, he's gonna be knocked out. So I think it's a really interesting fight for the hardcore fans of boxing. And I would give it a 50-50, because it's youth against experience. It really is. This Joyce can wear you down, but Joyce can also be knocked down. He was knocked down a couple of times, you know. So we'll see. It's a very interesting fight. It's two giants, bro. It's two giants in the ring, you know. Anything can happen.
Is that a fight you want? The winner of that fight?
Of course. But listen, it's too early for me to call them out because I respect the game of boxing. You know? I'm not gonna be this kid who just came into another block and calling people out. I'm not gonna be there. You know? I respect boxing way too much. Joe Joyce did so much more than me in boxing. Dubois did so much more than me in amateurs. So I'm only humble guy. And if the fans wanna see my fight with them, I'm gonna fight it. I'm never gonna call them out on my own because I respect them.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's why I have my fans. I want fans to choose my fights. That was how it was before. You know, if you said you want to see me fight, I don't know, Joyce or Dubois, if 1,000 people said it, Eddie Hearn gotta listen. You know, Eddie Hearn is here on the service of the fans, like me. You know, so I'm not gonna call out anybody, except Hrgovic. I don't like him. So.
That night, your manager Dillian Whyte did lose to Alexander Povetkin. What did you speak to Dillian afterwards? It seems like he's in good spirits. What was your conversation with Dillian?
Yeah, of course. I was ringside, you know, and I was like, bro, you're still my idol. You know, I thought he was down. But he's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I just got caught. It's cool. Dillian beat the game, you know. Dillian is much better than all of us in that game of boxing. And he lost by knockout and he got a rematch like months after. So he beat the game. There's no need to be sorry for Dillian, you know. He earned some good money. He beat the game and I think he's going to beat Povetkin because I would bet my house on the first fight. He was so ready. But he does do some stuff I don't like. You know, he waits too much, and you can't wait for an Olympic boxer. You can't let him breathe. I couldn't wait for Shawndell Winters. He's not even an Olympian, nothing. And I couldn't give that, you know, like I couldn't, how do I say, I wouldn't give that possibility for me of waiting. You know, I need to smother him. And I think if Dillian smothered him in first 3 rounds, just continue to do that, he'll be done. Povetkin was done. But he waited. He gave Olympian a chance and Povetkin took it. It was a beautiful fight.
I mean, a lot of people said that shot would have knocked anyone out. Do you agree?
Yeah, of course. It was a perfect shot. I can take a punch, but that shot would fucking kill me, like Dillian. Because Dillian can take a punch, bro. I never saw someone take a punch like Dillian. I hit him with my best shot sometimes, and he hits me with his best shot. So we both can take a punch, but that punch it was fucking perfect because Dillian didn't saw him. And it was an Olympic punch. It was from Olympic boxer. It was perfect technique from the foot, you know, from the heel. Fucked up. I know how that. And Dillian was okay after it. Actually, it was Povetkin who was shook up. You know, he didn't know where he was. And Dillian was very crisp and cool and clear. I'm like, okay, it just caught me. So I think that shows how Dillian is mentally tough. You know?
Is the Savage going back to Portugal to help Dillian in camp?
Yeah, of course. When Dillian calls me, I'm there in one day. I tell to him. I tell him a year before, bro, just call me. One day, the flight is like what 5 hours. That is how much I need time. You don't need to tell me before, you know. So I'm gonna help him, and I'm gonna do my best so he can win the rematch. You know?
I spoke to John Harding Jr., who was also in camp, and he said the camp was so difficult in Portugal, and people were about to collapse. Was it that intense?
Well, it was fucked up, but really it was for them. You know, I don't do stuff like that. I was just sparring with them, you know, because you know when you go somewhere, you can't do their stuff. If I did their stuff, they would kill me. I don't do that. I'm a boxer, I'm an old school boxer. I don't do all of the weights because I always fight with condition training. Because I have boxing conditioning. I don't care about CrossFit conditioning. I think they're doing far too much of that other stuff, and I don't think that that stuff has a place in boxing. And I wouldn't do that, you know. And I advise Dillian not to do it, but he's more than me in boxing. He's much more experienced, so he does it, you know. And we are all different, you know. Somebody needs just shadow box like me, and somebody needs all of them weights. But it's the same at the end, you know. But it was hard for them. I never saw harder training camp than that. It's fucking hard, you know.
Mm. one more I want to ask you, Alan. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua looks to be a bit closer now. What's your thoughts on that fight, and what do you think of Tyson and Anthony as well?
Well, listen, I like Tyson Fury, because his mental strength is through the roof. He got back from suicidal thoughts, from that knockdown of Wilder, from everything. The guy is a fucking beast, and you can't be broken, because he was broken like me 1,000 times. I was broken down. He was broken a million times. You can't do nothing to a guy like that. Joshua had a easy, quiet way. He's just the best at everything, and that sometimes that is not good. Because even Hrgovic, he's best at everything, but that doesn't do you no good. You're never satisfied. So I think I would give the edge to Tyson Fury. But a little edge. Joshua is much stronger. Joshua is much faster. Joshua's everything in the boxing sense. Fury is unorthodox. You never know how he's going to be. But you can count on Joshua. He always delivers. So I would be 55-45 Tyson Fury.
Interesting. Okay. Alan, thank you for coming on, giving me your time. Looks like you're going to have a fight announcement very soon. So it'll be good to see you back in the UK, and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, everybody who watched me, and thank you so much. I do it for the fans. I really do, and I can't wait to do another big knockout for you.
Great. All right, Alan, thank you very much, and we'll catch up soon.
See ya.